What is up, boys and girls of YouTube? I've been asked to do this like 20 times over the past 3 days. So we're going to go ahead and knock out a Smite tier list for you all. It's not going to be anything too wild. There have been a decent amount of changes between now and like the last 2 months. So if you don't know about the gods that were changed, go check out my previous Smite tier list. So sorry, my Smite patch notes, can't speak video and other videos, all that shit. You can look through the changes. Otherwise, I will slightly hit on most of them, or as many as I can think of, and we'll go ahead and knock out this tier list. So, first of all, we have Agni. Agni did get a couple of changes, his biggest one being the cooldown to his ult. At least in my opinion, that's one of the biggest changes. I still don't see him being played much. His early clear is weak. It's much easier to play this god in lower tier games because people won't punish you. Because if you do get this god to mid to late game, especially if you get away with early farm somehow or an early kill or something, you will frag kids. The shorter cooldown on the ult is nice. It's a nice change. But because of how well he will, basically how limited he'll be against good players, I can't put him above A. It's just unrealistic. AMC, we're putting in A+. You'll still see AMC in competitive. You'll still see him in ranked. You have a lot of solo farm coming out of that ADC role, seeing as you're literally in that lane by yourself for like 15 minutes, so you can get away with it. However, if you're not a skilled or experienced hunter player, you're probably going to get ganked a lot. You'll probably be out of position a lot. And because those are the things that he will be punished for the most, I don't recommend playing him all that much until you get experience with the god and with the role. Pooch, I got to put in a B tier. Slow build up, doesn't come online. Early clear is pretty bad. If you do manage to get farm and have health and be a little tanky and you're positioning properly, you can play him. But realistically, you're not going to top pick this god. You're not going to play this god on purpose when there's a lot of other stuff available. Amaterasu, A tier. Still a fairly average god. Laning phase, average. Not the worst, but average. The fact that you're duo laning right now can either make him really good if you pair him with like a Thor or something that can fight and do a lot of pressure and clear, or really bad if you pair sorry, not a him, it's a her. If you pair her with something that can't clear, Mercury, or who else is being played a lot? Circuit, because you're not grouping up. Just there's a lot of stuff that you want to watch out for when you're playing with Ama. Average god, really, really good in team fights. Because of that, I'm putting Ama in A tier. Anhur, I like Anhur a lot right now. I really don't think Anhur is bad. I don't think his laning phase is anything special. And because of those two things, the god's decent, but laning phase is average. Late game isn't anything crazy. I'm putting him into A. ADC lane right now is a lot of farming. Granted, you can force a fight, but the other person doesn't have to take it. So an Anhur is going to want to fight early, and the other ADC really has the option of just clearing the wave and running back to tower, or clearing the wave and rotating out and staying away from the Anhur. And because of that, I'm not putting Anhur any higher than A. Anubis is next. Anubis, I am going to put down here into, I want to say B tier. I'm going to put him in A tier, A- tier, sorry. He's very similar to Apuch, except for he has the ability to clear early. He has an extreme amount of pressure, meaning in low-level rank games, mid-level rank games, you'll get away with it because your clear is so damn good and your pressure is so damn good that if you do learn how to position properly, you can get away with the god. But if the other team is smart, they'll learn how to dive you. They'll learn how to punish the fact that you're immobile and you will die a lot. That's why I can't put him above A-. I don't want to put him with Alpooch because, once again, Alpooch's early clear is shit. And then the fact that you're also fairly immobile, kind of risky to play. Really risky to play Alpooch. A lot more benefit from playing Anubis in the lower tier games than in the higher tier games. Not playing him too much. Ao Kuang, a while ago, we saw some changes. We saw the passive / ult changes. When you ult somebody and get the kill, you get your passive stacks, which is awesome. The god's cool. Ao Kuang farms this shit out of low tier games. In every rank game and fucking casual game that this god gets played in below like Diamond 1, it feels like he gets 10 kills and he carries the game. Because of that, I'm putting him into A. But realistically, against a solid team, against a good group of players, you're not going to farm. Ao Kuang can carry. You need the farm. You need to know how to play the god. Ao Kuang is a good pick right now, but not the best. Aphrodite, I'm going to put Afro in A-. People are trying to pull out Afro, and you've seen it in competitive, which means it worked in scrims at some point. That tells me, and most of you should be able to realize, that the god can be played similar to Anubis, If you manage to get to late game with the right team comp, with a god to link to, you can win that game very easily. The problem is Aphrodite doesn't fit into any lane properly right now. Clear isn't really strong, and you're playing for a super late game, so you do not want to be taken advantage of early. Gonna have to pair that god up with the right gods to get through that, and it's gonna be very difficult. It's not gonna be an easy time. So unless you're trying to make the game hard on yourself, probably don't play too much Afro, but if that's your god, go for it. Apollo, A tier, nothing crazy. He's nothing special. His clear's okay. His farm's okay. His 1v1 potential is meh. His global ult can be used very, very well, except for the fact that everyone can rotate right now, and global ults are not in. They're not the thing to go with. They're not the play. So because of that, I'm not putting Apollo any higher. I think come season 5, when the map gets bigger, you will see Apollo return. You'll see Janus. You'll see Thor. All these gods will come back to being played a shit ton. Arachne, going down here with Apooch. Clear is bad with the fact that you're starting in the solo lane makes it risky. With the fact that you might want to start on your speed, the other team's just going to follow you around and you're not going to do shit because your clear is bad. Your level 1 fight is bad. There's nothing you can do that makes this god viable early. And you have to get kills early to get online. So he's one of those gods that, or she's one of those gods, sorry, that you're going to play in a competitive or a casual game, and you're going to hope you get a kill, and then you're going to hope you end up with 20 kills and you're just super far ahead. It's something that only works against bad players, to be honest with you. We have Ares coming up next. I like Ares right now. Putting him in the A. High level games, you get focused a lot. You'll die a lot on Ares. Lower mid-tier games, you will be able to carry. I put out a video on the top 5 gods to carry. If you're playing support, Ares is the god that will give you the opportunity to carry a game. No other support, in my opinion, allows you to carry a game. It just doesn't happen regularly on anyone else but Ares. Because of that, putting Ares in A. You can throw him in any team comp. You have the early pressure in mid. Your clear isn't that good, so you might want to pair him with a mage that can clear to make it easier on yourself. However, your pressure's there no matter what. Just don't die at level 1. Artemis is next. Artemis going to A tier. I feel like right now in the meta, there's a lot of A tier gods. You can play a lot of stuff into a lot of stuff, and it's not the optimal, but it's not bad. It's right there in the middle. Artemis falls into that. No mobility, but you have an immunity ult. You have pressure. You're able to farm, and you're able to solo buffs and camps and gold furies and stuff like that very early. So in ranked, Artemis is awesome. You get the early clear, maybe pressure out the other hunter, drop a ward around their red, wherever you got a ward, then pull gold and solo that bitch because you can do it really, really easily. Artio, I think Artio is still really good. I think a lot of you thought Artio was like this support beast of a god, and really Artio is not. If you go look at competitive games, I might be a little off here, but I'm pretty sure Artio does not win many of the competitive games. Sure, when you're playing the number 1 seed versus the 8 seed, the Artio is gonna lose on the 8 seed or whatever, or the 1 seed's gonna win with it no matter where you play with it, because that's usually how it works out. However, overall, the Artios that have been picked and done well consistently in high level games has been in the solo lane. And I think that is what you have to think about when you're picking Artio. This god should go into solo lane. Obviously, in ranked, in support, you can play whatever the fuck you want and get away with it. But realistically, Artio in the solo lane, S-. She farms, she frags. If you don't punish her early, you're going to regret it. So I'm putting her in S-. Athena, A+. I think Athena is actually really good in both the jungle and support role. I think she's undervalued in the support role. In ranked, she frags out in support because people don't punish you when you run up and taunt or you dash in and taunt. You never get punished. In competitive, you get punished a lot more, but there's still a lot of value because you have follow-up from your team. I think people have also gotten used to a lot of the current supports being played and found ways to play around it, whereas Athena was out of the meta for so long that it's just annoying to revert back to dealing with this Athena spreading out. You have to spread out, and the Athena can burn your beads so easily. Awilix, we saw a lot of nerfs to Awilix. Her early game is nowhere near as good. I don't think she's that good now because of that. Her late game was never her strong point. Her strong point was always her early and her mid game. And because they've essentially taken away her early game, it's not complete shit, but it's nowhere near as good as it was. You're looking at a mid game god that is only online for a few minutes, especially in this weird meta where the early game is strong and the late game is strong and the mid game isn't the key point unless you're looking at one objective. You're probably not playing much of Awilix unless it's just your fun god to play and you're trying to have fun. Next up, we have Bacchus. I really like Bacchus right now. A tier is where I'm dropping him. He hasn't changed much. You have an aggressive support. I like the aggressive supports right now, especially when going up against a lot of these other supports that are played commonly. Nothing too crazy about him. Nothing all that important to note. Bakasura. We saw Baka played at LAN. We saw Baka win at LAN in the jungle. Baka's still not good. Putting him in the B tier. Don't play Bakasura. Please, for the love of God. You're not going to clear in lane. You're going to need some crazy farm to get away with it. It's not going to be consistent. Don't play the bitch. He's not strong. His team fight's not that good. He has a cool cripple, but he has no real lockdown outside of that. Mobility, okay, you have a leap, but it's kind of lacking. You have to do crazy amounts of melee damage. You probably have to pick up like a blink or a sprint, and it's just a bad time. Don't do it. Past that, putting him into B tier, her into B tier. Average God, not too good. They changed the cats, so now that when the cats die, you gain extra pressure or power. Sorry, you gain extra power. Not that much value there. The cats are still pretty shit. The God overall is pretty average. Don't recommend. Bologna, I'm gonna put Bologna in the A tier. I think Bologna's awesome, but I think there's much better solo laners. Simple as that. Kabrakan, you're seeing a lot more Kabrakan, and Kabrakan doing very well. The root immunity, the high damage, the ability to play with this double hunter, triple guardian setup is awesome. So I'm gonna put Kabrakan into A+. Camazotz going into A tier. He's the same. Doesn't do anything crazy. Pressure early is okay. Wave clear early is okay. Mid game God, the late game kind of falls off. And once again, you're playing that early game's awesome, but the late game meh kind of puts him at A tier. Carnunos A tier. I'm just gonna drop. You know what Carnunos does. It doesn't do anything special. His ult's good. His pressure's the same. His one is awesome, but he's not the optimal hunter to play right now in a meta where you're sitting there solo lane farming for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Chalk. You're seeing a lot more Chalk, which is pretty cool. I actually like him a lot right now. I'm gonna put him in an A. I think realistically he could be A+, and you could argue either which way you wanted because his early lane clear is awesome. His early pressure is awesome. His ultimate in team fights is great. Aside from that, he's an annoying person in team fights, but he's not going to make or break a game usually unless you're grouping up and eating 5-man Chalk ults, so just be stupid and you're never ever killing this Chalk. But with Thorns being an option, the early pressure being there, he's definitely a god that could float in between A and A+ very easily. Chunga, I'm going to put Chunga into A-. I don't think she's good. She saw nerfs a while back, and ever since then, she's fallen off drastically. People have been trying to play her in support and in the mid lane, but it's not really ideal. She's not strong. I'd put her right there with Aphrodite and Anubis where she'll work sometimes, and you'll get away with the weaker early game. You'll get away with just this average mid lane mage, but it's not worth it when you can pick up these other mid lane mages. Chiron, I really like Chiron right now. I am going to drop him into A, though, because he's not any better than Carnunos, except for the fact that you're seeing Chiron play to mid as well. His ultimate's cool. His ultimate does this crazy amount of damage from really far away. The ability to use your 2 off of your 1 makes it super awesome for clear. Just the god isn't better than a lot of these other hunters that can be played. Kronos, A tier. People figured out how to play against Kronos, finally. God is still pretty good, but nothing great. Cucullin, I'm putting Cucullin in the S tier. Maybe S-. It's really whichever way you want to argue it. Probably S- when you're looking at RDO and Cucullin. Solid god. They nerfed the way he gets rage, the amount of rage he gets, but he's still a strong ass god. His transformation is crazy strong. He gets this shield. He does this immense amount of damage. His abilities change. He has his ultimate on a 20-second cooldown. That's annoying. He's just an in-your-face warrior in a meta where in-your-face warriors are one of the top thing next to guardians and hunters. Like they're so fucking strong with thorns and everything else that he's definitely a god you have to be playing if you're a solo laner. Cupid, A tier, average god, really good for counter picking. Doesn't fare well in this long farm fest of ADC lane that is actually turning into a solo ADC lane. Because Cupid's trying to counter all these gods with leaps and dashes and stuff that basically Cupid can just lock down. So essentially, Cupid's going to want to group up early. You can play the god pretty much whenever you want. The sustain is awesome and super underrated, but I'm never going to put Cupid, at least in the current state, above a lot of these other hunters. Dodgy. I think Dodgy's amazing right now, especially in ranked. You're going to frag out and farm the plebers. Dodgy. Pick that bitch. Play that bitch. Learn how to play that bitch. She does an immense amount of damage early. You've got a decent amount of clear early. You have kill potential through like levels 2, 3, 4, 5. You can burn beads. You can just got to keep track of those beads and just farm the fuck out of people, dude. Farm them. Farm them. All right. Discordia is going to be an S-. I want to put her in S, but she has one fault, and that's her lack of mobility that people are not punishing for whatever reason. Discordia's early game, average. Her clear is not bad, but it's not great. Her damage early for killing is not good. It's not there. Her ultimate's pretty good, especially with paired with other shit. but she's not amazing. Late game is where she one-shots you with her fucking combos, and it's insane. But her lack of mobility, she's got this little 2-foot dash into a small invis circle that you can pretty much drop all your abilities on top of if you wanted to. I think she's very good. I think you're going to get to mid to late game. You're going to start doing damage on her pretty much no matter what. I've had games where I've died. The first couple games I played on her, I didn't know what I was doing, and I died like 5 times, and I still one-shot late game. Like, you're going to get online eventually. Build her for damage. You don't need a shit ton of CDR on her. Putting her in S- because of her ability to be killed and her lack of mobility as a mage. Erlang Shen, A tier, solid god, nothing crazy, annoying. You can build anti-heal and pretty much hard counter his ultimate, make him worthless though. Fafnir, probably gonna put Fafnir in S-. You're playing in this meta with 2 hunters being played a shit ton, and then 3 guardians. And if you get Fafnir with 2 hunters, no matter what objective you look at, it's gonna die instantly. So Fafnir is going in S-. Fenrir, I fucking love Fenrir right now. Gonna drop him in A+. I think we might see him played a little bit more than he's supposed to. I think the fact that Fenrir was out of meta is going to make him even stronger because people aren't used to playing against him. But the fact that you can pop his 2 and then use his abilities without using, like, you can pop your 2 and then still stun. You can pop your 2 whenever the fuck you want. You can spam that shit and not have to worry about runes. It's huge. It's an awesome change. Plus the quality of life change on the ultimate. You've got this little cone so you can see where you're going to eat. And they extended the range a little bit. It's awesome. It works out well for him. I think A+. Overall, I think you're going to see him a lot more in ranked and stuff than in competitive play. Freya, A-. She's just not doing anything. Her items got nerfed a while ago, so she went from like the top god to one of the lower tier gods. I don't think she's shit. I think if you get the late game, you're still going to frag on her, but getting the late game is super hard. Ganesh, one of the top supports right now. Putting him into... It's so hard. I'm going to put him in A+. Fafnir has a really good reason for being up there. The fact that double hunters are shred, and you're seeing a lot of double hunters. Fafnir goes right along with that, right? Well, Ganesh is just the overall one of the top guardians in the game, right next to Geb. They both do kind of the same thing. Ganesh is a little bit more aggressive, whereas Geb has a little bit more peel. Awesome gods. Ganesh, you need to learn how to use your ult combo with your knockup. If you can get people on the line of your ult to do that constant damage, you destroy people, period. Guan Yu, I don't like Guan right now. B tier. You're just going to get stacked up anti-heal against you. If you play Guan, you're not going to do shit. Your early clear, early pressure is pretty average. You can be taken advantage of very easy. Hachiman, S-. I think Hachiman is one of the best hunters in the game right now. I think he's very strong. I think he's got this crazy kit. I think his ultimate is amazing. I don't see why you wouldn't want to play him, especially in this double hunter meta where you could burn objectives and have even more attack speed with this god. It's crazy. Hades, A-. Average god, not good. Hebo, A tier. God is great early, crazy pressure. Late game, if you manage to kill somebody without dying, you're probably going to win the game. But late game, Hebo's thing is he uses ult, gets the kill on somebody with the rest of his abilities, and then usually dies. So your positioning needs to be flawless, which is why I'm putting him in the A tier. Hell, saw crazy nerfs, doesn't get played at all. Anti-heal can be stacked up easily. Don't play Hell. Hell's going to the B for me. Hercules, A tier, average solo laner, pretty good, nothing crazy. Ho Yi, average ADC, pretty good, nothing crazy. Hun Bats, I don't think Hun Bats has changed much. Really good team fight god, bad early pressure. He's going in the A tier. Isis, early pressure's there. Late game sucks with the double hunters being so much more valued and these tanky guardians being valued. I'm not seeing much Isis. Isis countered by a lot of these guardians. Don't play her in this meta too much. I actually want to drop her down to A-, to be honest. I can't put her in A and leave her there. Izanami, A+. I think Izanami's early pressure and early clear is going to be taken advantage of much more in ranked. So I think I'm putting this god mainly in A+ because of ranked. Competitively, you're going to see her played, but she isn't as fucking god tier because people know how to play against Izanami, know how to kill Izanami, and she'll get taken advantage of. Janice, A tier. They changed Janice, so he does damage. He's always done damage, but now he does more damage. That's the biggest change for me. He does more damage. That's it. There you go. Janice going into A tier. Jingwei going into A+. I think Jingwei is better than Carnunos. I think Jingwei's passive is still one of the best passives in the game. Kali going into A-. There's just no reason to play Kali. There's no reason. Even with this awesome late game meta, Kali just does not fare well against a lot of these Thorns bullshit fucking comps you're playing against. You're not going to do shit. It's going to be hard to stick on these hunters when they use their actives and then the guardians and these other warriors are pounding on your ass. And you used to be able to kill them and shred them, but with Thorns and Nemean, you actually kill yourself, and it's really fucking annoying. Khepri, I think Khepri's still good, but one of the weaker supports, just in terms of supports. I think overall, the god is still very good compared to all the other gods. A tier. Kukulkan, A minus. Low mobility, ultimate misses, and you're worthless. Kumba, A tier. Really good pressure in terms. Oh, not pressure. Can this go here? Is this a thing? Hello? There we go. Okay. Kumba, really good. I guess peel is the way I want to put it. Really good peel. It's more of aggressive peel. His initiation is locked down to allow for team fights is awesome. But overall, average support when compared to Geb, Ganesh, Fafnir. Kazimbo, I think Kazimbo's fucking good. I think he destroys in ranked games because people don't know how to not target a Kazimbo. In competitively, a little bit weaker. That's why I'm dropping him into A. Loki, please don't play Loki unless you're just like this fucking asshole fanatic with this invis. Don't play Loki. Most of you aren't even playing Loki remotely right, let alone playing him well. So please, just don't play Loki. I meant to put him in B. Medusa, A tier, still an average hunter. Mercury, A minus. Risky ass god. Once again, you have all these people with thorns, so it's hard as shit to play Mercury. But you have a lot better time sticking on top of these squishies because of your dash, your immunity to slows. The fact that you probably a sprint late game works out really well. Just not a top god anywhere near there. Nija, A tier, average god, has good early pressure still, can set up for your team, but you're not going to be this almighty best jungler anytime soon. Neath, A tier, average god, but the ult's actually really good right now. I think it's undervalued. Nemesis, S minus. I think Nemesis is probably one of the best junglers in the game. The ultimate's still broken even against these targets running thorns and shit. You have 3 builds on Nemesis you can run. Ability build where you're building CDR and pen. Tanky ability build where you're focusing on being hard as shit to kill but still being able to shred with your ult and have a little bit of pen in there. Then you have your hunter type build where you can go on ADC carry build on a Nemesis and it still works out because crit will work against the squishies. It will work against the people with thorns and stuff. Just don't hit them when their thorns are up. Nike, I think Nike's one of the best warriors in the. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to put Nike up there. I think overall, Nike's one of the best warriors in the game right now. But I don't think Nike has the early pressure to be like an S minus tier god. I think she's really, really annoying. I think her ult is insanely strong when paired with the 2. The double health bar is essentially just it's so hard to deal with, and that's probably why Nike is one of the highest win rates in ranked right now, or in conquest, I think. Nox, average god, hard to fully set up, but able to kill all these really tanky targets. But they can still, like, Kazimbo's gonna pop his 2. If they get their thorns up on you, you're gonna fucking hurt yourself, so you gotta watch out for that. Nua, shit. Don't play Nua, doesn't bring anything to the table. Odin, pretty good, nothing crazy. Ultimate can be countered super easy, so you're playing around this early game. You cannot fall behind on Odin, that's why I'm putting him in A. Osiris, A, this is hard. I'm putting him in A. Osiris has fallen off a little bit. You're not seeing him as much. It is still really good with the early pressure. Poseidon. I think Poseidon's pretty strong right now, to be honest. I think his ult's a lot better. I think the god overall is strong, but actives still counter him. There are better mages because he has to be in your face or up close kind of to do damage, whereas a lot of these mages, Ra, Thoth, can be over walls. You have Morgan who's transforming into gods that aren't going to be as squishy. So you have better mages right now. Ra, I will also put in the A tier. Lack of mobility makes him a little bit weaker. Raijin, A plus because of his early pressure and crazy clear, and also has that decent range. Really high amount of damage. I think Raijin's very annoying. Rama, A tier hunter, mainly because his buff secure is pretty bad. And the fact that, once again, you are just farming in this ADC lane. When the 1v1s do come up, realistically, stuff gods like Uller and these more buff, stronger 1v1 gods are going to excel. Ratatasker, A tier. My A tier is stacked up right now. Ratatasker is average. Once again, the god was super hyped up for a while, but he doesn't bring much to the table aside from being able to build that tanky jungle build and trying to take advantage of it. Robin, I'm putting Robin in A+. I think Robin's still the same. I think Robin is one of the best W key gods. You just run at people over and over and over again. So as long as you and your team are farming well, awesome. The early pressure at level 1, level 2 in that solo lane, the ability to fight is there, the ability to clear is there. It's all there, everything you need. Robin is great coming out of the jungle. Scylla, A tier, great god. This fucking one ult can change the game thing is always going to be there. The god's strong, early game's a little bit weaker. Serket, A+. I think Serket is one of the top assassins right now because of that tanky build. It works so well because you have percentage damage coming out of Serket, and this percentage damage is key in a tank build because you have automatic damage coming out of this god no matter how fucking you build. No matter how your build goes, no matter how tanky you are, you're still going to have that damage coming out no matter what. Scotty, A tier. You saw Scotty get nerfs. Just not as safe, not as good in the ADC role, not coming out as strong. Sobek. I really like Sobek right now. I'm not going to put him in A+. I do think Sobek is a very, very, very strong Guardian. I think in ranked and in a lot of even high tier games, Sobek is a game changer. Honestly, I think the pluck and the amount of disruption you have against the assassins, some of these Guardians can do a lot for your team. Soul, A tier. Soul is amazing. It's really, really safe, but she's not this crazy mage that can't be played around. Sun Wukong, A tier, average, pretty safe alt. Susano, A tier. You saw nerfs, but he's still fine. His early game just sucks. Sylvanas, A tier, really easy to kill. Terra, A tier, you saw a lot of nerfs. Thanatos, A tier, saw a lot of play for a little while, but then people remembered, oh, you can play against Thanatos, and it's really not that hard to beat at all. If you have a Geb against Thanatos, you should do very well. If the other team has a Geb, Thanatos might be a little bit more annoying. Morgan, S-, one of the most, I think Morgan had like the most wins at the last LAN. She's fucking strong as shit. She has pressure before her ult, and then in her ult, her team fight is insane. Thor, still an A tier god to me. Really, really strong. But late game isn't really there for me. I don't like it. I think the god does well early and excels early all the time, but then slowly falls off and trickles off to the game. You have to shift your gameplay over to more of a peel god, and it just changes. Your team comp has to be right for Thor to work. Thoth. I think Thoth is actually one of the better mages still. I think the long range is awesome. I think the early clear is the worst part about this god, but because you can be so safe and you actually have so much lockdown because of your stun, this range stun that can come out from anywhere, I think it's super duper strong. Tier, I think Tier is pretty average. A-. He kind of lacks the potential to do a lot of damage. He lacks the you control the game aspect, whereas other people just need to know how to play against a Tier. Pick the right gods against a Tier, and you can just lock him down, and he's not going to do as much. He is super tanky and is super annoying, though. Ul, with the buffs, A+. I think Ul is an amazing hunter right now. I think in the 1v1 scenario and the ability to carry rank games in the low end, like gold, silver, all that shit, is there because you just take 1v1s over and over and over again. And as long as you know how to hit your abilities, you're going to kill that motherfucker over and over and over again. And I think it's really fun to play Ul right now, so I like seeing him, and I'm glad he's back, and A+ is where he's going to be. Vamana, average god, easily counterable, but still has good pressure and still has potential. Vulcan, A tier, really easy to kill because lack of mobility, but high damage. Shibalake, A-. Lane is not that good. Laning isn't good. You're going to get taken advantage of. Xing 10, A tier. I think Xing 10 in this triple guardian meta is awesome because Xing 10 can reduce attack speed. So Xing 10 against 2 hunters, awesome. Ymir, A-, still too easy to kill. Zeus, A-, still too easy to kill. Zhang Kui, I'll drop him an A- because he's tanky as fuck, but he's still easy to deal with. So there's my tier list. I realize there aren't many S tier gods and shit, and I realize there's a lot in A tier because I feel like all of the gods in A can be played most games, but realistically, you don't want to put them in A+ because they're not going to be played every game. You're not going to want to play Poseidon every single game because people are going to know what to do against it. You're not going to play Quang every single game. You're not going to play many of these gods every game. That doesn't mean gods like Janus are bad. But realistically, I'd rather have a Raijin over a Janus. I'd rather have a Fenrir right now over a Hunbat. And that's just where it's at. That's how this meta is. And that's how it'll be for the next week or two until another patch comes out. So, here's my tier list. Let me know what you guys think in the link below. I don't care if you farm on fucking Bastet in your Gold 1 game. That's not the comments I'm looking for. Nobody gives a shit if you're playing at an average level that you can play these average gods against people and win. Are you winning every game? Do you have a 100% win rate? No. So that god should not be S-. Fuck off with that shit. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hit the subscribe button. I will see you all in the video later tomorrow.